get my screens together, y'all.
Shout out to Start Again.
I'm on the black screen. Hold on, let's see if I can get this together. There we go. There we go. Reaction screen. Hold on. Let me get this together too. There we go. Hold on, y'all. It's a process. It's a process. Video capture device.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Add existing.
Please stand
Put
by.
it on the top. Let me see. What we doing? What we doing? Hold on. Getting it together, y'all. I came in here and I just started. My bad. My bad. Hold on. Let's do this one. There we go. There we go. All right now. Let's start over. Go Cavs. Go Cavs. Go Cavs. I ain't gonna cap till I mess with the Celtics. I fun with the Celtics. I really do. But I want the Cavs. Listen, I don't want to be a hater and say that I want the Cavs to lose. But them tickets, man. Come on, man. We ain't paying this. We ain't. All right, the Cavs are winning for a little while, but still. But still. Yeah, they was good last year. They been good. I ain't gonna hate. Shout out to the Cavs, man. Shout out to everybody who got a parlay in tonight. You feel me? Everybody the chili. FanDuel, Prize Picks, Sportsbook 365. What y'all be using, man? This thing started. It's your boy Pyro, man. We doing another video review on Tuesday, as always. I only got one person in here with me today.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Right? We gonna be alright.
I do this shit by myself if I got to. You feel me? Sonny P in the building, man.
Erna, what's up?
You know,
Yeah.
everybody can't be here every day, but the show must go on. I told y'all I was going to be here at 7 o'clock. I think I said 7. I think that's what my post said. I don't know. I'm here, though. I'm here. We got a video review.
You made it.
Actually, we getting ready to get into it, man.
Alright.
Insane theme park ride accidents. Let's get it
That's why I
going.
like roller coasters. I'm scared of heights.
I fuck with the roller coasters, though. I ain't gonna cap.
I get on them, but this is the reason why sometimes I don't.
Nothing gets the old adrenaline pumping quite like a death-defying theme park ride. The promise of high-speed flips, loops, and drops attracts millions of people to test their courage on these rides every year. But despite the warning signs and super snug lap bars, not all of them are as safe as they appear. Like this Russian ride that broke and had its passengers suspended.
Yeah,
That don't even look right.
I would never get on that. I wouldn't even let my kids get on that.
Nah, that doesn't even look safe.
I wouldn't even let my kids get on that.
How was that a ride? That's crazy.
It's Russian.
Suspended by a thread. Or this crazy catapult that nearly crushed its riders.
Oh.
That shit fell down?
Oh, like the whole one side
Wait a
just
minute.
popped like a bungee cord and snapped.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, they sued. They sued.
Wait a minute.
Passengers suspended by a thread. Or this crazy catapult that nearly crushed its riders. Want to find out more? Then strap in
That's
tight
insane.
and secure any loose items about your person as we take a look at some theme park rides that had to be
But them was like the first, remember when they started first making the slingshot? They came in that cage because they couldn't get it to just go up and down.
Yeah.
It was started going left and right and all kind of stuff. That's why people was in the cage. People was breaking their feet and everything in
I
that
bet
mug.
they was. See,
shut down. Savage Son of Beast.
You getting on this?
Um,
Let us know, chat. Y'all getting on this roller coaster?
yeah, no.
It's first of all, it's a wooden roller
It looked
coaster.
like a whole bunch of rickety ladders.
Yeah, I don't like wooden roller coasters.
It looked like a whole bunch of toothpicks. Yeah, I'm not getting on that.
Among the roller coaster enthusiasts of the world, this colossal wooden ride
That's
called Son
insane.
of Beast holds a legendary status. Part of Kings Island Amusement Park in Ohio, it was
Oh, wait a minute. That mother was here.
I've been on this.
Oh, well then. How,
I've been on this.
How you gonna say no? You wouldn't. I guess you did, huh?
Shout out to my stepbrother Brandon Allison.
Oh my God.
We went on this.
Shout out to y'all, cause no.
That's when I was young and dumb.
Yeah. 'cause what
built
the-
as a sequel to their previous wooden coaster, The Beast.
Okay,
But
so no. Okay, so I went on the Beast. I didn't go to Son of Beast.
Okay, you was on the first.
I went. Yeah, I went. Yeah.
You was on a dad.
Like I said, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
like any good son, this new Beast exceeded its predecessor in every way. It was the world's fastest and tallest wooden roller coaster, whipping riders around at a staggering 78 miles per hour from peaks as high as 218 feet. And to add the cherry on top, it was also the only wooden coaster with a loop when it opened back in the year 2000. But being made out of wood didn't make for the smoothest journey.
Hell nah.
Structural issues gave Son of Beast a reputation for being a jerky and rough ride,
bet.
although that made some sadists love it all the more. But it got a little too rough back in 2006. As a train of riders looped around the Rose Bowl
Aw,
section,
came in
their
hot.
train suddenly bucked as if it had hit a huge pothole. At those high speeds, the damage was serious.
God damn commercials. YouTube Premium is on the way.
What is this, Battleship?
I have no idea. Maybe anybody play this game?
27 riders were sent to the hospital with severe neck and chest injuries. Inspectors later revealed a wooden support beam underneath that section had cracked and splintered, and the ride was shut down. It was repaired and reopened in 2009, but then another rider suffered an injury on board.
God
Though this
damn.
time it was head trauma caused by the coaster's violent shaking. Even though a thorough investigation found no irregularities, its bumpy past and rough reputation was enough to see it shut down indefinitely that year.
Yes,
The
was it
wonderful
open
wooden
back up?
structure was later demolished in 2012, proving that what goes up must eventually come crashing down.
Look at that bunch of toothpicks.
That's weirdly satisfying. That's weirdly satisfying.
The Dangerous Dragon Challenge.
What the hell?
When Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida opened a
I don't like it because it look like they both coming together, like they gonna clash.
I am becoming ashamed of these American amusement parks. What is going on?
Somebody, I don't like this.
dragon-themed ride in 1999, roller coaster fanatics were left awestruck. Originally called Dueling Dragons, the ride consisted of a pair of inverted, intertwined roller coasters that chased each other around like two dragons fighting in the air. At one point, the two trains even inverted riders and looped them round just 18 inches apart.
I don't like that.
After
Whoa.
that, I bet all those riders were left feeling like they'd really conquered a dragon. It was later renamed the Dragon Challenge and added to the park's Wizarding World of Harry Potter section. But shortly after the move, the Dragon Riders started misbehaving. In 2011, a 52-year-old man was on the ride when, during that iconic loop, something flung out from the other car and struck him
Oh,
across the
shit.
face.
Damn.
The damage
dropped
was
my
so
phone.
bad that his entire eye had to be removed.
Oh, that's not funny.
Ouch. Concerned that riders weren't taking the many no loose objects signs seriously, operators began setting the two trains off at different times to avoid any similar incidents.
hello?
But this would turn out to be a killing blow for the Dragons.
Wait,
What
Without
the fuck?
dueling feature, the ride's popularity dwindled, and by 2017, it was shut down to make way for something more magical and less dangerous. Now, if
Motorcycle?
you're looking for a wild ride,
Okay, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. I mean, somebody losing an eye from a phone.
Yeah, they
Ah, okay.
How hard did it hit you in your eye?
Yeah,
You gotta get removed.
that's insane.
They are paying all those medical bills.
That's insane.
without the risk of losing an eye, then go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Subscribe
I
to the
can't
channel,
send you
y'all.
through a loop-de-loop, but I'll turn your world upside down with videos about things you never knew before. All done?
We gonna review
Great.
some more.
Now, where were we? Lantern. The 2011 Green Lantern film was universally panned when it hit the silver screen, so you might not be surprised to learn that the Green Lantern First Flight roller coaster was just as disappointing. When it opened in Six Flags Magic Mountain back in 2011, it was hyped up as the world's first completely vertical pattern zigzagged roller coaster with 360-degree spinning seats.
What the
But
hell?
this design made it look more like a giant pinball machine than a ride. Nevertheless, Six Flags' fans lined up to try it out, and boy,
Whoa.
did most of them regret it. Riders were jerked and
jerked, yeah.
jostled around the short 825-foot track at top speeds of just 37 miles per hour. It wrenched them around corners and
Wrenched
spun
around.
them awkwardly into sudden angles. So instead of feeling like they were flying superheroes,
They
it
started
shook
getting
them
jerked
around like
around.
fish in a big green bag.
That's funny as hell. Oh shit, that do not look fun.
Riders quickly took to the internet to complain about how painful the experience was,
This
while others
POS.
berated
This
it
is
for being
torture.
short and boring. Fortunately, Six Flags' fans didn't have to suffer for much longer. In
My neck.
2017, the ride closed unexpectedly for unknown reasons.
Oh, you know
Some
why.
speculated it was because of bad reviews and injuries,
Hell
while others
yeah.
believed it was down to its waning popularity.
Shout out to
Whatever
Whiplash.
the reason, it stood vacant for 2 years before the park announced it was shutting the ride down for good in 2019. That means this hugely hyped ride operated for an embarrassingly short 6 years. Just like the film, this roller coaster turned out to be one huge flop. Oh no, Oppa.
What?
Is it just me, or does anyone else find the garishly painted carts on some family-friendly roller coasters, like this or this, really creepy?
The hell?
Well, unfortunately, the unsettling
That's weird.
design of the Oppa roller coaster carts at Mount Olympus Park in Wisconsin wasn't the worst thing about them.
Dells,
The
Wisconsin?
colorful indoor coaster was only 43 feet high, and with a top speed of just 29 miles per hour, riders didn't go wild as much as they went mild. Though that
That's for
didn't
little
mean it
kids.
wasn't dangerous. Back in 2014,
shit.
Anthony Thiessen was accompanying his grandkids on the ride when his
That's a
safety
man.
bar suddenly failed. As the ride hit a corner, Anthony was
Oh,
flung out like
shit.
a rag doll and fell 17 feet onto the hard concrete below. That's like falling out of a 1.5-story window. Anthony
Ow!
was placed into a medically induced coma for a month
Oh.
due to the severity of his
Oh
injuries.
my
But he
God.
miraculously survived. The
I get
roller
paid.
coaster,
Give my
on the other
money.
hand, didn't.
I bet it
Safety
didn't.
inspectors
Shut
began
down.
testing the ride, using sandbags to represent the
How many
rider's
fell
weights.
out?
But they all watched in disbelief as the lap bar suddenly popped open at the point of the track where Anthony had been thrown.
First of all, I feel like somebody is sabotaging this ride for it to do that.
How they all watching disbelief? You knew it was an error
They-
in the layout of this damn roller coaster.
That is crazy.
That man was in a medically induced coma.
From a freaking
From
ride.
A ride from a turn on a ride that just bloop.
How fast was that going? Because
It tells you 29 miles.
I made Scoops get on some rides at the Ohio State Fair, and it was a ride like that.
And I was
I'm-
on the end. What if I'd have fell out? Bloop.
I'm about to stop letting my kids do stuff
Oh,
like that, man.
Lord.
I'm all Ferris wheel edition.
Oh, wait a minute. I hope they don't send no
Put me on the Ferris wheel.
There was no doubt that Mount Olympus had failed
Yeah,
to
it had
properly
to go.
maintain the coaster, forcing them to permanently close the ride that same year. Well, I, for one, am not sad
on
to
a
see
ride
the
just like
back of
that.
those creepy-looking mouse-mobiles.
Get in your mouse and get out of here.
The human catapult.
No, I'm not ever.
Slingshot and catapult rides have become increasingly popular
Yeah, I
with
don't do
adrenaline
these.
I
junkies
don't
in
like it.
recent years,
No.
and it's
Oh,
not hard to
shit.
see why.
No.
Riders are securely strapped into a single steel capsule,
No.
which is attached to industrial strength
Anybody
spring
ever did the,
cables pinned to the top of two huge
slingshot?
towers. The cables are then gradually tautened as the capsule remains strapped to the launch pad. Then,
Push it
with the
down.
push of a button, the capsule is released.
That's insane.
Like Like a stone from a slingshot, riders can be catapulted up to 450 feet in the
Woo!
air at breathtaking speeds of around 100 miles per hour.
Oh, hell
That's
no.
one way to get rid of your girlfriend. But as fun as they look to people filming them from the ground, the G-force these rides produce can reach up to 5 Gs, which is enough to make some riders hilariously faint.
Yep, that's me.
Oh,
That's me. And
they both fainted.
yeah.
But that's not the worst thing that
That's
can happen on
dangerous.
these rides.
That was
Back in
fucking Boston, that
2015,
did.
Drew Larson was shooting a video of his 13-year-old son about to ride Wisconsin's Mount Olympus catapult
is
with a
this at-
family friend.
why is
The
this place
ride
in
was
Wisconsin
designed to
going- that's
hurl
2 of 'em.
passengers 200 feet up into the air at 60 miles per hour. But just moments before the ride attendants hit the launch button, something terrible happened.
Oh my gosh. I'm almost scared. Shout out to the commercial.
Oh my goodness. Prepare you.
Oh, it hit her in the head. I think it hit her in the head. Oh.
Without warning, the cable on one side of the ride snapped, smashing all that tension just inches away from the boy. Now, these rides operate by applying around 40 tons of pressure through those cables. So, if that kid had just been a few more inches to his right, they would have needed a spatula to get him off the ground. What an unbelievably lucky escape.
Oh
While
my
state
God.
documents showed that the ride had passed inspections a month before, Mount Olympus had previously failed to show the proper maintenance documentation for the catapult back in 2013.
Oh,
And
no,
when you take a
see,
look at the frayed cables on the side there,
why.
it looks
Oh,
like that
hell
paperwork might
nah.
still have been missing. The ride was thankfully shut down and removed from the park just 2 days later,
I
which
bet
probably
2 days.
This is probably dark. But what if they got flung up into the snap and they just kept going?
Oh my gosh. Or what if it would have flung up and flung like somewhere else and they just would have been on that one side? That's crazy.
Like a tether ball.
That is
Oh, that's
crazy.
fucked up. That is messed
That is
up.
the second ride at Mount Olympus in Dales, Wisconsin, though, on this thing. That's crazy. Y'all got some shit going on.
saved future patrons
Ooh.
from becoming pancakes.
Hey, Pooh.
Cosmonaut Chaos. The
I'm not getting on
resplendent
this.
Russian city of St. Petersburg is marveled for its architecture
never
and
get on this.
history, but it's got something else guaranteed to entertain its visitors. Located in the central Petrogradsky district, the Divo Ostrov amusement park is a thrill seeker's dream come true. And at the center of it
Oh,
all
no.
spins this
Oh,
utter
hell
beast,
nah.
known simply
Nope, you
as
ain't even
the
gotta worry
Rocket.
about it.
First of
Oh,
all,
that's the one in the beginning.
what
You
in,
ain't
what
gotta
in
worry
the
about it.
ghetto freehand rocket is this, bro? You got me on a rocket on a pole that just swing around. That's not even funny.
What's some thing that people be picking at for and mines and stuff? Yeah, you got
She said, "Take a shot for her." She all wine edition today.
Yeah, girl. It's real. I'm gonna take this sip for you, though, Pooh. I got you.
Sip, sip, sip.
Yeah, to my Pooh.
Would you get on this, Erica?
Miss Hernandez is here in spirit.
It's called the Rocket. Look at this.
This high ride, this utter beast. Known simply as the Rocket, this high ride loads up 10 wannabe cosmonauts onto a ground-level gondola, which is attached to that giant arm by 2 cables at its front and back. The arm then gradually winds them up before spinning them around 200 feet in the air. But as they're in flight, the gondola rapidly spins on its own axis,
She
turning
said, "Hell the
passengers
fuck no."
upside down
Yeah, I'm cool
and
on
giving
this.
them a
Hell
real
no.
taste of space travel. Whew, just watching that is making my head turn as much as my stomach.
I don't like nothing that spins while it spins. That's not funny to me. That's not thrilling at all. It just makes me want to throw up.
That just
Although
looks unsafe.
not as much as this clip from 2010 does. On that fateful day, 10 people had their lives hanging by a thread, literally, after one of the rocket's cables snapped mid-ride. It took rescue crews more than an hour to get
Oh,
all the riders
hell
down,
nah.
but thankfully,
Oh, so I'm
no one
dangling
reported
for
any
an hour?
injuries. An initial
know?
investigation revealed that the hot weather that day may have weakened the metal
I need
within
my
the
money.
cables, causing them to break. But surely, being an outdoor space, these rides should have been designed to handle high temperatures in the first place. Well, despite that disturbing
Hell no,
revelation,
get my money.
the ride was only shut down briefly for repairs before reopening later that
No.
year. So remember, kids,
It opened
in
back.
Russia,
Yes.
amusement park rides you.
Yeah. No.
Ride this ride if you're not pussy. We don't care if it broke and 10 people almost died. Ride this ride right now.
We fix parts. We fix.
Are you man?
We fix.
You drink beer or vodka?
You have hair on chest?
You have hair on your chest?
Not smiling now. When the world
wait, is that the
record-breaking
name of it?
inverted roller coaster, the Smiler, was opened in Alton
is
Towers
this?
in England, it really did have fans smiling in anticipation.
What is
With
this?
14 inversions, it promised to flip riders upside down more than
Ah,
any other roller
hell
coaster on the
nah.
planet.
Would've been
But
sick.
all those smiles soon turned to screams after the shocking events of 2015.
Oh,
As a
what
car
happened?
full of riders looped around the track,
They
they
failed.
suddenly noticed an empty test car that was stuck in front of them.
They
They
smacked
screamed
it.
desperately for help, but it was
No!
already too late.
Bah!
They collided with such
Oh.
force that the metal of their car buckled, pinning the front row passengers into
Oh.
their seats.
Ow!
Rescue teams
Oh,
rushed to
shit.
the site and spent hours trying to remove them from the wreckage. All
Oh!
16 riders suffered some degree of injury, but 2 girls in the front row
Oh, they
were
lost
so
their
badly
leg.
pinned that they each horrifically
Oh,
lost
no!
a leg. The ride
No!
was closed, and an in-depth investigation was set in motion. It was revealed that a fault had been detected on the ride earlier that
Aw,
day.
damn.
So, in line with procedure, the operator sent out an
Aw,
empty
damn.
test car. However, the test car got stuck on a loop because of some high winds and didn't clear the track. Without realizing what had happened, the operator
First of all, who the fuck didn't notice
Right,
that?
ain't nobody saw that?
Who the fuck? Bring your ass here.
Yeah, because who came in for their shift and
What the
didn't see that?
fuck?
You got me.
overrode the safety warnings and
Oh.
released the next car full of passengers, sending it
yeah.
careening into
Oh
the
my
test car.
God.
And at
Fire.
those speeds, it was like watching a 90 miles per hour car crash.
my
This operational
God.
oversight was so serious that Alton Towers' parent
Oh,
company, Merlin Group, shut down 3 other rides it owned that operated similarly. Eventually, inadequate training and human error were blamed for the accident.
Of course they
and
was.
Merlin Group
Oh,
was
yeah, y'all
forced to
paid.
cough up millions of
Yeah,
pounds in
y'all
Fuck
compensation.
yes.
Y'all
But
paid.
just 9 months later, the Smiler was
you
unbelievably back in action.
Are
It
you
just didn't seem like a long enough time to have fixed all those issues, and Merlin Group was accused of putting profits before people. Nevertheless, the ride has operated without any further incidents since,
Oh, it's still
although
open?
I reckon they should have changed its name. Instead of the Smiler, how about the Crasher? Maybe the Smasher? Or perhaps just the Death Trap? Got any better names? Let me know down in the comments below.
Oh, that's dark, sir. You gotta put it down somewhere
Class
bad.
Action Park.
Shout out to being a slave.
Back in the 70s and 80s, health and safety was a lot more of a suggestion than it was a rule, as proven by the existence of Action Park, often hilariously called Class Action Park for the number of injury lawsuits filed against it. It was widely considered to be the most dangerous amusement park in the world. It opened in New Jersey back in 1978, and the rides they boasted were all utterly insane. Walking into the park, you first saw the mind-blowing Cannonball Loop. It was an enclosed tube slide which riders slid down in pitch black that flung them through a loop-de-loop before plunging them into the water.
Somebody got stuck
But
in the loop.
slide wasn't properly padded, and so being whipped through this hard
Oh,
plastic
shit.
shell at
Wow,
breakneck
wow,
speed
wow,
left many of its
wow,
testers
wow.
missing teeth.
Oh,
Next to
shit.
that was the
Damn.
Colorado River Ride, a truly demented version of a classic lazy river ride. Riders were given rubber
Wow.
rafts and mercilessly
Wow.
hurled against the ride's sides,
Oh,
bashing their
shit.
knees, feet, and hands
Oh.
as they were flushed down.
Oh.
And then there was Surf Hill. A large slide
What
split
the
into
fuck?
several lanes that, thanks to some seriously shonky engineering, saw riders catapulted into the air at the slightest bump.
Oh
Ooh,
shit.
Ouch! My shins are bruised just watching
Oh,
this. As
fuck.
you can probably tell, the rides were so dangerous that no self-respecting insurance company would insure the park. So, Action Park's CEO Eugene Mulvihill set up his own insurance company and illegally insured it himself. And that, kids, is what we call fraud. Even so, the death-defying Cannonball Loop was open for a whole month before it was shut down after riders complained of broken noses and back injuries. But that was just the tip of the injury
Hell
iceberg.
no.
Wait, it still didn't stop.
Picture this.
Crazy.
It's almost Black
Let me ask
Friday.
Cause you've been on one of them things with the loop, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it dropped me, and then we went around that whole little loop-de-loop.
Was it a smooth ride? Cause I need to know.
I ain't gonna say it was definitely a point in time where I felt like when I was going around that I could have just went up and out. But I feel like I could have like went around that little bend and went up and out, but it wasn't that bad. It was real fast though.
That's insane.
I think it's easy for an accident to happen depending on the size of the person for real.
I don't see now. I don't know if I would do that because I don't know if I'm heavy enough to catch enough speed to go around the loop. I might get stuck in the middle.
I was very scared.
I need to see some kids do it. God damn.
Injuries. But that was just the tip of the injury iceberg. Action Park dubiously reported just 14 broken bones and 26 head injuries in its 18-year tenure, although the real total is believed to be much, much higher. But that's not the worst part, because the park also claimed the lives of not one, not two, but 6 people before it was shut down in 1996. Oh boy.
God
Sounds like this
damn.
place wasn't a water park as much as it was a watery grave.
R.I.P. Okay, sir.
The Perilous Plunge.
What the hell is
Knott's
this?
Berry Farm likes to market itself as California's #1 theme park.
Okay.
And I'm sure that would be true if it weren't for the sheer number of serious accidents they've had. Since 1983, at least 16 people have been injured, some fatally, on the park's 40 roller coasters and family rides.
Damn,
Although
40?
one
Yeah, I'm
accident
just
on
gonna
the
walk through.
well-loved Perilous Plunge water ride
I'm gonna just
really
walk
put
through.
the serious in mysterious.
Wait,
When it
what?
opened in 2000, the ride boasted a record-breaking 115-foot super steep plunge from the top, guaranteed to get riders' hearts pumping and shirts soaking. Despite the height, riders were only secured by a lap bar and a seat belt, which proved to be a problem for some of their larger guests. In 2001, a 300-pound rider somehow slipped out of these restraints
Oh,
and fell
shit.
more than 100 feet into the shallow pool below.
Oh!
Sadly, she didn't survive. But when the boat returned to the station, her lap bar and seatbelt were somehow still locked.
Wait,
No one was
what?
able to figure out how the
Somebody did that. The people next to him clipped it back because what the fuck?
That's insane.
That is sad.
Somebody didn't check her shit.
R.I.P. I'm sorry.
restraints could have failed until the coroner noted that the 50-inch seatbelt was 8 inches shorter than her abdomen. To fit in, she placed the seatbelt over her legs and consequently slipped out of the boat as it began to plunge. She clearly shouldn't have been allowed to ride, and her family sued the park for damages. But after a short closure, the ride reopened with new 4-point restraints, so that no guest, no matter their shape or size,
You ain't
could
going nowhere.
accidentally slip out ever again.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Das ist verrückt.
Okay, I know.
The word verrückt
Already know.
means crazy or insane in German, which made it the perfect name for the world's tallest water
Oh, you gotta
slide.
walk up
Built
here.
in Kansas City's Schlitterbahn Park, the Verrückt had a chute slide that was a gargantuan 168 feet tall.
Shit!
From the top, it launched riders down a 17-story death drop before hurling them over a 5-story slope at speeds of up to 70 miles per hour.
Get your ass up in here. Yeah. Okay. I probably would go 'cause it looked
Okay,
kinda fun. I
that
wanna get
looks
wet.
insanely exhilarating.
Yeah, it is.
But as you can imagine, engineering something this tall and slippery came with some serious bumps.
snap.
So serious that during test runs, if the rafts were loaded with more than 1,000 pounds, they flew off the slide entirely.
Oh,
but instead of
shit.
improving the ride, designers simply placed netting over most of it to keep riders from going airborne. I mean, I'm no expert, but even to me, that doesn't sound safe at all.
Hell
But
nah.
Schlitterbahn had made some serious financial donations to the state of Kansas, and so, by law, it was allowed to make its own safety inspections. Could that sound any more suspicious? Well,
What
after
the
roughly
hell?
concluding that each raft had to weigh between 400 and 550 pounds to be, safe, the ride was opened in 2014. But these shady safety practices sealed the fate of this fatal slide. In 2016, a 10-year-old boy perished on Berucht when he was ejected up into the netting. 2 women in the same raft were also gravely injured, and the police began a thorough investigation. The combined weight of the 3 passengers reached a supposedly safe 545 pounds, but the 73-pound boy had been allowed to ride in the front. Experts believe this uneven weight distribution contributed to the raft going airborne over the second hump, something that rigorous testing should have spotted. The blatant safety violations of the ride saw it shut down and
That's insane.
dismantled in 2016. And a swift change in law made it so the park couldn't conduct safety self-inspections ever again.
Yeah, what the hell?
The human trebuchet.
What the
A
hell?
trebuchet is a kind of medieval catapult that was designed to hurl huge objects with a sling through the force of a counterweight.
Okay.
These were great for sieges, as their projectiles landed on or over city walls in unpredictable patterns.
Okay,
So,
okay.
knowing all that,
Some
no
medieval
one
shit.
would be dumb enough to consider strapping a human into one of these.
Apparently they
Right?
are. Where's that? Where's
Wrong.
Best 200-word essay.
Man,
in 10
I
minutes.
know they
Where do you
didn't.
think this is
I
at?
think
I-
No, I'm gonna win.
Where do you think
Back
this
in-
is at?
I'm gonna say Germany or Russia.
I'm like there or like Australia for some reason. But okay, come on, let's see.
In the 1990s, the Dangerous Sports Club in England built an enormous trebuchet on a Somerset estate with the sole purpose of launching people onto a distantly placed net. For just 40 pounds, which would be roughly $140 today, almost anyone
Ah,
could sign
hell
up to be
nah.
haphazardly
No,
hurled
I will
100
not.
feet over the English countryside.
Hell, what in the?
And this was about as safe as it sounded. One woman who tested it out, called Stella Young, did manage to hit the net, but then promptly bounced out of it, breaking her neck
Oh!
and her pelvis.
Oh!
But instead of shutting this death trap down, they
Her
simply
cooter
added
bone.
a bigger net and tucked people into a ball so they didn't flail and bounce out
Wait a
as they
minute, in a
landed.
ball?
Now, like I
So
said
now
before,
bent up?
trebuchets are not precision instruments, and this will become all too clear in 2002. A poor student called Kostadin
here we
Yankov,
go.
who tried out this terrible trebuchet, was flung so far off target that he missed the net completely. And sadly, he didn't survive.
Oh,
it was an accident
shit.
just waiting to happen, and one which finally shut this idiotic ride down for good.
Oh!
Fatal Fujin Raijin II. Expo Land had been a popular theme park in Japan since it opened in 1972, and the amazing Fujin Raijin II was one of the
up?
most famous attractions.
Nope.
Built in 1992, this
I rode
steel
one of those.
coaster
I don't like 'em.
strapped its riders in standing up,
I don't like
all
'em.
before whipping them over
Kings
more than
Island got
half a
one.
mile of track at around 70 miles per hour. It was a huge success and operated without a single issue for 15 years. But in 2007, as the train was about to enter a circular section of the ride, the wheel axle of the second car suddenly broke, causing it to tip sideways. It traveled almost 1,000 feet before the broken section hit a guardrail, slamming the train to a halt.
Oh!
The event cost the life of a young woman, and 19 others were injured. After a thorough investigation, it was revealed that the car's axles hadn't been replaced in a shocking 15 years.
Oh
But
my
the axles
God.
weren't even part of the daily or monthly
said
routine
fucking- that
inspections.
is
But this
crazy.
unbelievable oversight ended up costing more than just one human life. The entire park closed while the
Oh.
investigation took place, and the ride was pulled down. Though when it eventually reopened in 2015, nobody came back. Expo Land had
That's
lost the
crazy.
people's trust, and just 2 short years later, the park shut its gates forever. Flying Fascist Machine. A ride's design usually falls into one of three categories. There's the good, there's the bad, and then there's the downright wrong. And anyone who knows their history can see that this one fits into that very last category. This unfortunately designed
like
ride,
that.
called the Adlerflug,
Yeah, 'cause
which
it looked
roughly
like
translates to
swastika.
Eagle's Flight,
I don't like
was
it.
installed in Tasmania Theme Park in Lufingen, Germany.
I bet
What
You
the
heard
hell
that
is
right.
this?
I bet it
Germany. This just gets worse and worse
Yeah,
by
it
the
does
minute.
get worse, but
No,
you know what
God!
that shit looks like.
It
I don't
was
like
naively designed in 2019, with each of the two heads' spinning arms designed to look like eagles. As they lifted up and rotated, riders would be able to loop about the skies as free as a bird. But from a distance, these 8 spinning arms
tell
look
them what
like
it look
2
like.
spinning hate symbols,
Exactly.
which are
Oh!
notorious
Said
in
that.
Germany for
They look
all
like
the
2
wrong
swastikas.
reasons. So notorious that
swastika.
displaying these
Yeah,
anti-constitutional
This ride, I ain't getting on no goddamn swastika ride.
And it's in Germany.
What the hell?
They knew what they were doing.
Hell nah.
Yeah, right.
symbols
Bitches.
is illegal across the country. The mistake was innocent enough, and the
No,
park's
it
owner,
wasn't.
Rudiger
Okay.
Braun, apologized profusely for any offense caused.
okay.
But instead of shutting the ride down completely, he got to work removing 2 of the arms from each head. Now, when they spin, they look like 2 perfectly innocent pinwheels instead of a rotating hate crime. Did you survive any of these reckless rides when
So
they were
his
still
shit
in
probably
operation?
still going. He just took some shit off. He fixed it, but yeah, no.
Yeah, man.
That's
I'm a thrill seeker, but this roller coaster video got me thinking different.
This is why I'm cautious, and I don't just be getting on shit like that. See, that's crazy. I don't like that.
If you get on roller coasters, folks, say a prayer for yourself before you go to the amusement park. I like to get on rides and stuff like that, but it be people out here be in control of motherfuckers' lives that don't be doing their job.
Y'all not checking on nothing. Like, can you, before you get on a ride, can I say, hey, when was this inspected? When was these parts changed? You can't ask them questions. That's yes.
Has anybody ever been on a roller coaster or a ride that has malfunctioned while you was on it? If so,
Comment.
let us know in the comments. Until next Tuesday, we out here.
We